Among those threats that people in American society in particular feel, and often feel very strongly, and yet that wind up, by virtue of our responses, making things worse, is the response to violence, fear of violence, fear of crime, fear of violent crime. Now, the reality is that violent crime in the United States has actually gone down substantially in recent years. But once again here, certain politicians, notably President Trump, has exaggerated and overtly lied about the frequency of violence in the United States. A consequence of that has been many people feeling under threat, literally, feel a need to have guns. Now, it used to be not that long ago that, I forget the exact numbers, it's in the book. I think something like 88 to 90% of gun owners had guns because of hunting and or target practice. Now those numbers have switched, and you have 80 to 90% of people who have guns have them because they feel threatened. By having guns, the availability, the ready availability of guns itself constitutes a huge threat. People kill themselves with guns. Suicide rates are much, much higher in countries that have availability of guns as opposed to those that don't. And that's certainly true in the United States. Suicide rates within the United States are higher in those states that permit or almost encourage these days the availability of guns. When a gun is around, it doesn't take very much to kill yourself. You just a little bit of pressure on a trigger. One major consequence of the degree to which Americans in particular feel threatened has been the really intolerable, inexcusable, in my opinion, availability and abundance of guns, ostensibly, and not just ostensibly, I should say, really, in response to feeling threatened. And the result, I could hardly think of anything that makes them more threatened, and makes all of us more threatened, than by having literally more guns than people in this country. If you compare, as I do in the book, the rates of violent crimes, suicide, and also accidental injuries and death, there's a direct correlation between the availability of guns in a country and the frequency with which all of these things happen.